Hello friends, it's another great day at CFC Arts. My name is Joshua Vickery and I have the honor and privilege of being the founder and executive director of Central Florida Community Arts. We are so glad that you've joined us tonight for another amazing show by this wonderful arts organization. Although we strive for quality and excellence and artistic integrity in all that we do on the stage, our very mission and core and DNA of who we are is to give back to the community. We make the arts affordable and accessible, and we partner with local nonprofits and charities to bring the arts at no cost to help them with their mission and to help them with their goal. In our very short existence to date, we have almost 100 charity partners. This organization actually consists of about 400 singers in multiple choirs, 130-member symphony orchestra, children youth arts programs, a school of performing arts, a youth orchestra, and many, many other things, including arts and wellness initiatives. We are very proud of our theater program, and we thank all of our corporate sponsors and donors, and you, our patrons, as well as Central Christian Church for being such a great home. Now I'd like to introduce to you the creative genius behind these shows, our director of theater, Mr. Donald Roop.
Sorry for getting started late. We had a bunch of people, we oversold, so that's awesome. And we found seats for everybody, which is also awesome. So thank you for your As you mentioned, my name is Donald Roop. I'm very happy to be the director of theater here at CFC Arts. How many of you have never been here before? Any new faces? Woo! Wow, awesome, thank you. Where have you been all my life? This is the first production of our third full season of theater. Yay! Yay! One person is happy. We are so happy to have survived this long. It's really amazing. It's really inspiring as artists to see this many people who want to come to the theater on a Saturday night when you have so many other options. So thank you for being here. If you could, right off the bat, take your cell phones out and turn them off. We had one poor woman yesterday whose cell phone went off 3 times during the show. And one of the actors attacked her. Patty LaFone style. Not really kidding. She left at intermission. So please keep them off. It is a disruption for you and for us. What do I have to tell you? Oh. If you like what you see here tonight, I would tell you to come back, but we only have one more show and it's sold out. So, if you could, come back again. Our next production is John Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men, which you may have read or seen one time in your life. And then later in the season, we have a bunch of shows. We have Forever Plaid Tiding, which is an audience favorite in Christmas time. We're doing the comedy Steel Magnolias. 100 of you, not one person thought that was funny. And then we're closing the season with Stephen Sondheim's Company. Yeah, so please check us out. You have already been harassed. You'll be harassed again about the raffle. For $1, you get one raffle ticket. For $5, you get raffle tickets up to your elbow. And for $10, you get raffle tickets up to your shoulder. Arm, shoulder, okay. And then we draw one at intermission, and whoever wins takes home half of whatever money we've collected. Last night was cheap, and they only got $20. Yeah. So, let's see if we can beat that. We've had people walk out with close to $100 before, and the other portion of that, of course, goes to support the theater. Speaking of supporting the theater, I want to give a shout out to one of our donors and friends of the theater. This is Russell Fox is somewhere in here. Represents the good folks at Gatorland who have supported us graciously this season. So thanks, Russell, wherever you are. Oh, finally, all of our performers are volunteers, and they're pretty amazing volunteers. So as a way to say thanks, we've started to take a collection of sorts. If you throw in $1 or $3 or $300, the actors split the money at the end of the show and they take me out for drinks.
I hate theater. Well, it's so disappointing, isn't it? You know what I do when I'm sitting at a darkened theater waiting for the show to begin? I pray. Oh God, let it be a good show. Oh, and let it be short. Lord in heaven above, please. 2 hours, fine. 3 hours, oh. Too much. Oh, and God, please keep the actors out of the audience. Oh my God! I didn't pay good money to have the fourth wall come crashing down around my ears. I just want a story. And a few good tunes to take me away. Well, I just want to be entertained. I mean, that's the point, isn't it? Amen. You know, there was a time where people would sit in darkened theaters and think to themselves, oh my God, what do George and Ira Gershwin have for us this evening? Or, can Cole Porter pull it off? Again. Now it's just, oh please, Elton John, must we continue with this charade? You know, it used to be, you would sit there in the dark and you knew that when the lights would come up, you would be taken to another world. A world full of music and color and glamour. And you would sit there and you would think to yourself, oh my God, when are they going to bring up the lights? Oh, how times have changed. Hello. How are we this evening? Great, good. Glad to hear it. Well, I'm feeling a little blue myself. A little anxious for no particular reason. A little sad that I should feel anxious at this age. A little self-conscious anxiety resulting in non-specific sadness. A state that I call blue. Now, whenever I'm feeling this way, blue, I like to listen to my music. So I was going through my box of records this morning. Yes, dear, records! Well, I was going to put on the soundtrack recording to Meredith Willson's The Music Man. I had a craving for a young Ronnie Howard. But then I thought to myself, no, let's have a treat! Let's be transported back to the decadent world of the 1920s where the champagne flowed and the caviar chilled and all the world was a party! Well, for the wealthy, anyway. So, I dug about, and what did I find for one of my favorite shows? Gable and Stein's The Drowsy Chaperone. Remember? Music by Julie Gable, lyrics by Sidney Stein. Well, it's a 2-record set, remastered from the original recording made in 1928. It's the full show with the original cast, including the Beatrice Stockwell as the chaperone. Isn't she elegant? Now, this was a full 15 years before she became Dame Beatrice Stockwell. Can you believe that? Great. Let me read to you what it says in the back of the album. It says, mix-ups, mayhem, and a gay wedding! Well, of course, the phrase gay wedding has a different meaning now. But back then, it just meant fun. That is just what this show is. It's fun. So, would you indulge me? Would you let me play this record for you now? Yeah. I was really hoping you would say yes. Oh, you hear that static? Well, I love that sound. It's like a time machine starting up. Okay, all right, now, let's visualize. Imagine, if you will, it's November 1928. You've just arrived at the doors of the Moscow Theater in New York City. It's very cold. Remember when it used to be cold in November? Now November's like the new August. It's global warming. We're all doomed. Anyway, it's very cold and there's a heavy gray sleet falling from the sky, but you don't care, because you're going to see a Broadway show! Listen. Isn't this wonderful? It helps if you close your eyes. Overtures. Overtures are so out of style now. I miss them. It's like the show's way of welcoming you. Hello. Welcome. The meal will be served shortly, but can I interest you in an appetizer? Well, that's what an overture is, a musical appetizer. A poo-poo powder of tunes, if you will. You hear that? That's something different. Kind of frolicking. Maybe a dance tune. Maybe involving some pirates. Don't worry, there are no pirates.
This dress so. It never goes out of style.
It's a miracle, madam.
My dress, my fancy dress. I don't know why I'm wearing it, I must confess. My dress, I love my dress. Would someone tell me why I put it on?
Yes, your dress, your fancy dress. Was such a pleasure airing it, stitching and preparing it. God bless your dress. It's one fine dress. Oh, I will tell you why you put it on. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime. Madam, you're the hostess and it's happy wedding time. Wedding bells will ding, wedding bells will dong. Wedding bells will ding-a-ling and we will ding along. Your dress, your fancy dress. We're very, very glad you put it on. Wedding guests have come, wedding guests are here. Wedding guests are at the door and soon they will appear.
Janet, the star of Felton's Follies, whom I love a lot.
I'm George, that's George, his best man, George. I'm honored to be doing what a best man ought. Mrs. Tottenham, now don't you worry, I have this whole wedding planned out. The key is organization. You see, each string represents a task yet to be completed. Pay the musician, yell at the florist, book the minister. This whole wedding's gonna run like clockwork.
Is there going to be a wedding?
I lost my leading lady. I gotta stop this wedding or I might get shot.
I'm Kitty, just kidding. I'm here with Mr. Felton. I'll be a leading lady if I get my shot.
We're pastry chefs. We're pastry chefs. We cross our hearts. We're pastry chefs. No bakery. A bakery is what we've got. A Adolfo. My name is Adolfo. I am the king of romance. So I
hasn't come. Someone isn't here.
Who could it be?
Where is Janet Vandergraff and when will she appear? It's Janet, it's Janet, it's Janet Vandergraff.
I'm Janet, Janet Vandergraff, here to marry Robert Martin, giving up a life of glamour to tie the knot. Emily. I'm the chaperone to Janet Vandergraff, maid of honor, friend, and confidant, and all that rot. Where's the bar?
It's premonition, madam.
Well, it's a good thing I brought my own. Champagne makes me drowsy.
It's really happening. Truly happening. What's happening? What is happening?
I'm Trix, the aviatrix, queen of the sky. I circle through the stratus in my modern apparatus. I'm Trix, the aviatrix. I gotta fly. I'll see you when they tie the knot. A wedding,
Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling. A wedding's coming our way.
Well, there you have it. All of the guests have arrived. If a bride is giving up the stage for love, her debonair bridegroom, a harried producer, jovial gangsters posing as pastry chefs, a flaky Corinne, a Latin Lothario, and an aviatrix, which we now call a lesbian. And of course, my favorite character, the drowsy chaperone. What more do you need for an evening's entertainment? Wasn't that wonderful? And we will ding along. I don't even know what that means. All right, I'm going to do my best to lead you through this record, but don't worry, it won't be hard to follow. So we start with a message from a love-struck group.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for coming. Who would have thought that I, Robert Martin, would be marrying a glamorous showgirl, and that glamorous showgirl would be willing to give up a successful career for me, Robert Martin. Well, I just want to raise a glass, if it wasn't for Prohibition.
Here, here.
To Miss Janet Vandergraff, the most beautiful girl in the world.
Absolutely not!
Excuse me?
The groom mustn't see the bride on the day of the wedding. It's bad luck.
Now, I hope that you heard that. Because that's the plot. Well, basically. You know what? Just hang on for the ride.
Breakfast will be served in the Arabian room.
Say, it's a little early in the day to be drinking, don't you think?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Look, just keep Janet away from the Robert. You're the chaperone. That's your only job.
Aye, aye, mon capitaine. Oh, Robert, who's my little monkey?
I am your little monkey.
So, the bride and groom are whisked away. We turn our attention to the B plot, which involves the producer.
Mr. Beltic,
Getting married. And leaving show business?
Mr. Beltic,
Doesn't she know? I've got obligations.
Mr. Beltic. I can be your leading lady.
A little annotation. Kitty and Feldzig were a couple in real life, Jack and Sadie Adler. Now, this is a very familiar comic construct, a stupid woman and her long-suffering companion. Well, the thing is, the stupid woman does something so clever that in the end it makes you wonder whether it was all just an act or not. The irony here, though, is that Sadie actually was quite stupid in real life. Jack had to explain all the jokes to her, apparently. But still, she had a wonderful career on the stage. You know, at that time, the theater was the only place that a stupid person could earn a decent living. Well, that wasn't until television, of course.
Kitty, I haven't got time for this.
What's he for, Mr. Feldzig?
Not now.
How's about a nice profiterole?
Boys, I'm not hungry.
Then perhaps we could give you something else to chew on.
Yeah, something that ain't food.
What?
The confusion is to be expected. Oh, we stand here before you in the guise of innocent pastry chefs. We are also
And primarily,
employees of a certain individual.
A certain individual.
a certain individual.
Who also happens to be the single largest investor in Feldzig's Follies. He has sent us here
As pastry chefs,
to express his concern about Mrs. Vandergraaf's impending nuptials.
specifically,
If she gets married and leaves this show,
then there ain't no show.
Say, don't I know you?
No, you don't.
Any of you ever been to Toledo?
have you ever been in a coma?
No. But I have a cousin in Seattle.
Kitty! Boys, you tell your boss this wedding is never going to happen. You have my word.
Well, we'll take your word, all right.
But to go back on that word would be a recipe for disaster. Now we hope we have made ourselves perfectly eclair.
One can only hope.
You've gotta be kidding me.
A trifle much.
Don't talk with me.
All right, you can drop the pastry chef routine.
Alas, we ganache.
We're on the lamb.
Lamb's an entree, you macaroon.
The gangsters were played by the interchangeable vaudeville duo, the Tall Brothers, John and Peter Tall. Now, they were born Abram and Mendel Moskva-Batskevitz, but, well, they were renamed at Ellis Island by a sarcastic immigration official. They are the very early example of a typical Broadway gangster, full of stylized movement and wordplay, not very intimidating, well, unless you find dancers intimidating, of course. Which I do. But for reasons that would not be appropriate for this situation.
We'll leave the matter in your hands, Mr. Feldzig. In the meantime, feel free to browse the dessert carousel.
Try the Toledo surprise.
It's to die for.
Feldzig? They're gangsters.
Very perceptive. Now, go, hide your face. I gotta stop this wedding from happening, but how? Oh, Lord in heaven, how? How?
I always thought this moment was a little overplayed. So, with the story well on its way, we turn our attention to the groom's room.
Hey there, handsome. Let me see those pearly whites.
The groom was played by the dashing Percy Hyman. He was best known for his work as the Albright toothpaste man. This fabulous smile adorned every tube. Now, Albright toothpaste was hugely popular during the 1920s because it contained cocaine. No, really, it's true. If you looked at the label, it was the 5th ingredient down, right after sugar. Anyway, it wasn't long before he became a huge matinee idol.
Now don't you worry. It is perfectly normal for the groom to be nervous on his wedding day. It is? Of course.
Some people might say that Percy Hyman was a bad actor. To those people, I say, shut up!
Hey there, Mr. Mirror Man. Quaking and shaken, trembling like them fraidy cats do. Something may be bothering you. Cold feet, brother, you've got cold feet. You can make them cold feet hot, with a little rhythm. Young feet, cold feet, can be uncontrolled feet. Rhythm make them cold feet trot down the aisle. Cross the arches, they can learn to swing. Icy toes can't
worm. Now I'll have to find another minister. Say, what are you doing there?
Well, hey, George, I'm just singing a song old Negro taught me, a little Dixie remedy for those Wednesday jitters.
Oh, you think you've got the jitters, you've got the easy part. I've still got to get rice, boutonnieres, a minister. I have the weight of the whole wedding on my shoulders.
George, I think you might have cold feet.
What do I got?
Cold feet.
What do I want?
Bold feet.
What do I do? Scold feet?
No, you make them cold feet hot.
Oh. All right.
Okay, George. All right, how are they? George, you're dancing.
I am?
You are. What? Now I'm dancing. Chaperone, what are you doing here?
What do you mean? What am I doing, Roger? I'm dancing. I'm dancing because I have to. It's in my soul. And in my soul. I was walking down the hall, and I heard the tippy-tappies of your feet. And I thought, somebody's tapping without me. And I was wearing my tap shoes. And I joined in. What do you want from me? But I said, if you start dancing again, I'm coming back. So don't
wonderful performer? Please clap for him. He gets very self-conscious when you don't clap. I personally like to think of him panting and sweating after a long dance routine. You know that Percy Hyman is still alive. Yes, I saw him on the news pretty recently celebrating his 100th birthday. To say that the passing years had taken a toll on him would be a grotesque understatement. They wheeled him out and he had this wide-eyed expression of pain and confusion that only God reserves for the very, very old on their birthday. You know what look I'm talking about. Oh, yes you do. Well, it's like this. Who are you? Who am I? Why is this cake on fire? You know what look I'm talking about. Anyway.
All right, enough of that. Dancing around like a fool.
Oh, I'm sorry, George. I just get so nervous. It is my wedding day after all.
Well, you could have snapped an ankle. Tap dancing is very dangerous. Say, why don't you go for a skate instead? That's what I always want to do when I blow off steam.
George, you think of everything.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. You're not going out there like that. You might see Janet. Here, wear this blindfold.
George, what would I do without you?
Just looking out for you, my boy. And remember, no more tap dancing. Wedding bells will ring. Wedding bells will chime. Wedding bells will celebrate.
Oh, just ignore it. It does this occasionally. It rings.
Hello. I missed your call. I'll call you back at my earliest convenience.
Well, that's it. The moment's ruined. It's like a cell phone going off in the theater. God, I hate that. Hello? How are you this evening? I'm fine, thank you. What are you up to? I'm just at the theater ruining this moment. Yes? How about yourself? Oh, me, I couldn't get out this evening, so I'm just ruining the moment by proxy. It's fine, everyone. Shake that off. Let's bring our minds back to 1928. They didn't have cell phones in 1928, no. I'm sure they had something to ruin moments, like bugles or something. The scene shifts and we find the very, very glamorous Janet Vandergraff entertaining questions by reporters as she lounges by the pool.
Miss Vandergraff, is it true you're giving up a successful career to marry a man you hardly know?
Yes, Robert and I met on the Lido deck of the Ile de France. He amused me with stories of his father's oil interests. We spooned briefly, and then he proposed.
So you won't be returning to the stage?
I shan't.
Ever?
I shan't. I shan't.
Can we quote you on that?
Of course. One more question.
Oh, God! Who in God's name would put an olive in a Gibson?
I've got a question. How can you give up the footlights when you know you've got the grease paint in your veins?
Victor, please.
Janet, I'm begging you, please. Dump the mug. Stay with the Follies. I'll do anything. I'll give you anything you want. Oh, all right. I'll put your name above mine on the marquee.
Victor, if you think this has anything to do with vanity, you couldn't be more wrong. I don't want to show off no more. I don't want to sing tunes no more. I don't want to ride moons no more. gentleman hoot no more. I don't want to wear fruit no more. I don't want to show off. She don't want to show off no more. Not me. Read it no more. Page 3. Oh no. I don't want to show off.
She don't want to show off.
I don't want to show off.
She don't want to show off no more. Off no more.
Not me. I don't want to show off.
She don't want to show off, don't want to show off no more.
You pretend you're just as sick. We put it up behind you quick. Get it over there.
Oh God, we didn't make it. We didn't make it. Well, best of luck, dear.
Please, no more attention. I've counted to 10. And I'm through.
Farewell.
Adieu.
Farewell.
You'll never see this. Never see this. Never see that. Never see these again. I don't wanna change keys no more. I don't wanna take teas no more. I don't care if you scoff. I don't wanna be cheered no more, praised no more, grabbed no more, touched no more, loved no more. I don't wanna show off.
She don't want to show off.
I don't wanna show off.
She don't want to show off.
I don't wanna show off.
She don't want to show off.
Oh. I don't wanna show. No more.
Well, Mr. Felzig, it is painfully obvious that Miss Van de Graaff has no desire to continue a life on stage.
Can't you see it's tearing her soul apart?
Don't worry, boys. This isn't over yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't do an encore.
I don't wanna show. It's my turn now.
Played by Jane Roberts. She was best known as the Oops Girl, remember? Surely you remember the Oops girl. Don't you people read? She was billed as the girl whose sexual energy was so great it caused the men around her to have accidents, like spill their drinks or drive their cars into trees. And she would just go, oops. Well, I'm not really doing it justice, but people, they ate it up. She made a whole film series about it. Oops, the Oops Girl at Sea, and Oops Girl Comes Home, which won an Oscar for special effects.
Begging and groveling haven't worked. On to plan B. And for that, I need an accomplice. Someone gullible and with loose morals. I need, what do you call them? A European.
La 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 la.
In walks Adolfo, self-proclaimed ladies' man. Adolfo was played by former silent film star and world-class alcoholic Roman Bartelli. Well, he was one who later drank himself to death at a chateau in Nice, remember? Well, it was just 5 days before they found the body, and by that time it had been partially consumed by his poodles. Well, he was only partially consumed.
Excuse me, I don't believe we've met.
I am Adolfo.
You are Adolfo?
Yes.
I am.
Adolfo.
Not the Adolfo.
Yes.
I am.
Adolfo.
Well, that's funny because you don't look like a scoundrel.
Yes. I am.
What? Well, I just overheard the groom say that Adolfo is a scoundrel. I just heard him say it.
Adolfo. He's a schooner driver.
Those very words.
Adolfo. A schooner driver.
It's like I'm hearing it again.
Why, this is outrageous! They are saying that's the peoples, the beautiful ladies with breast for making love. Oh, why, I must
You must take matters into your own hands.
Yes! I must take this groom into my own hands. Kill him!
Yes! No, don't kill him. Just hurt him enough so that he can't get married.
Show me to this groom.
What? What?
What kind of man is this groom? Is he a big man? Burly fellow?
Well, he's big on the outside.
No. Adolfo, no fight. Big man. Small. Pale, little wheezy dwarf people. That Adolfo can pull. But no big man.
Oh, so you're a lover, not a fighter.
Yes. Adolfo.
Said love out. Beautiful Latin.
Some call me the king of romance.
Well, you know what they say. The best way to get revenge on a man is through his
Door.
No, the best way to get back at a man is through his
Bindo.
No, revenge. Back at a man through
His what? Through his what? There are literally no other ways, huh? I am the Santa Claus coming down chimney.
Through his woman.
His warm.
You must seduce his woman. His bride.
Yes, Adolfo will make a love to the bride. That will show the peoples that Adolfo is not a schooner. Show me to this bride. Why? What kind of woman is this bride? She a big woman?
No.
Burly woman?
No. She's the cat's pajamas.
Bahamas. She's a looker. She's an attractive woman.
Told me to this duck in Bahamas. I'm done. Will make up.
Stop it!
Like a duck.
Roman Bartelli chewing the scenery. Ooh. You certainly couldn't get away with a performance like that nowadays, could ya? No, mature contemporary audiences are much too sophisticated to enjoy the broad racial stereotypes of the stage. So we banished them to Disney. Let the children sort it out!
Yes, madam.
Oh, the pastry chefs have been kind enough to provide liquor for the party. Underling, we must be discreet.
Yes, madam.
'Tis prohibition after all.
I'm aware of that, madam.
We'll have to use code words. For instance, if someone says they'd like a glass of ice water, what they really mean is they'd like a glass of vodka. Did you get that?
Yes, madam.
Are you sure? Do you want to write it down?
I understand, madam. A glass of ice water is a glass of vodka.
What's a glass of ice water?
Vodka.
Ice water?
Vodka.
Ice?
Vodka.
Oh, then that's settled. It's one less thing to do. Oh, underling, I really would like a glass of ice water. The meeting with the pastry chefs was rather trying, and, well, I would really like a refreshing glass of ice water.
Your ice water, madam.
Thank you. That was pure vodka, you poop.
I hate this scene.
Now I really do need a glass of ice water.
A glass of ice water, madam?
Yes, a glass of ice water. Are you going deaf?
Would that I were.
You can see where this is going, can't you? It's just a series of spit takes.
Your ice water, madam?
That was pure vodka, you poop.
You know, in some ways, the Drowsy Chaperone was quite progressive for its time.
Your ice water, madam?
It was pure vodka, you poop.
In some ways, we're progressive. Others were stale even in 1928. I'm just gonna skip ahead.
That was... Where are you going?
I'm going to find some lime juice.
Lime juice, why?
I'm going to wring out my eyebrows and make myself a gimlet.
You're probably asking yourself, what was that routine doing in the show? Well, it's simple. There's a song coming up and they needed something to allow for the set change. It's mechanics. It's like pornography. Let me explain what I mean by that. In pornography, the story is simplistic. How do I pay for this pizza? Is a classic example. What I mean is, as in a musical, the story only exists to connect the longer, more engaging production numbers. What? Well, what kind of society do we live in if we can't discuss the similarities between pornography and the musical theatre? is a really interesting scene. It's the only time in the show that Jane Roberts and Beatrice Stockwell are alone on stage together. Jane Roberts was an emerging star, but Beatrice Stockwell was already well established and a force to contend with.
I'm so full of apprehension, but I suppose that's normal considering the circumstances. Oh, have you ever been married, chaperone?
Oh, no, dear. I drink for pleasure, not out of necessity.
Your ice water, madam. I'm afraid we're fresh out of olives.
Have you ever been married, underling?
Oh, heavens, no. If I'm going to serve a woman, I prefer to be compensated for it.
Oh, you two. I know it seems crazy to give up a successful career to marry a man I hardly know, but somehow, for some reason, when I look into his eyes, his big monkey eyes, gee, I just get all woozy. And that's love, isn't it?
Oh, not necessarily, dear. The wooziness could be caused by any number of things. For example, I'm feeling terribly woozy right now, and I'm certainly not in love.
Now, Beatrice Stockwell was known for her rousing anthems. She entertained and inspired troops in every single major world conflict, up to and including the Falklands War. But by that time, she was in her late 80s. Her tunes didn't so much rouse as they did stupefy. But still, she demanded a rousing anthem in every single show she ever did, even if it wasn't appropriate. You just couldn't say no to her. Honey, that's what we call star power.
Really, you're not being the least bit helpful. Couldn't you at least allay my fears with a few choice words of inspiration?
Inspiration, dear, that's not really my forte. But sit down as we stumble along on life's funny journey. As we stumble along into the blue. We look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where to turn or what to do. Still we bumble our way through life's crazy labyrinth, barely knowing left from right, no right from wrong.
That was quite nice. That was quite nice, chaperone, but I don't see how it pertains to my situation.
Oh, darling, let me explain.
Really, that isn't necessary.
Get in the fridge. It's a dismal little world in which we live. It can bore you till there's nothing left to give. 7 overrated wonders, 7 underwhelming seas, 6 excruciating continents, oh, Antarctica. Oh, please.
Oh, please.
Still, you mustn't let it lick your, this planet, oh so bland. Keep your eyeball on the highball in your hand. Then we stumble along through life's crowded dance floor, and we push and we shove, we live and we learn, and when we finally leave the bar,
about alcoholism. I mean, that's what I love about her. She just does what she wants, when she wants, regardless of the needs and concerns of others. My mother was like that.
Well, that was quite inspiring, chaperone, but I'm still conflicted. Oh, please, just tell me, is Robert the man for me?
Oh, darling, that's something you'll have to decide for yourself.
But I just don't know if he loves me.
Well, why don't you ask him? Huh? Why don't you say, Roger? Do you love me?
It's Robert. It's Robert. And besides, I'm not allowed to do that. In fact, it's your job to keep me away from him. In fact, it's your job to keep me away from him, I said.
You're right, and I take my responsibility very, very seriously. However, just at this moment, I'm feeling terribly, terribly drowsy. And I'm afraid I'll have to have a little lie down. Now, Janet, whatever you do not go into the garden and seek out your fiancé and ask him the question upon which your future happiness depends.
What? Oh, yes. Thank you, chaperone. I just have to know if he loves me.
Oh, such a skinny little fool. Still, oh, I envy her. When will love come crashing through my door?
Look who it is. Adolfo come to seduce the bride.
I am. Adolfo.
When you're watching this part, try not to think about the poodles.
I am. Adolfo. I'm Joe. The bride.
Oh, no, I'm not.
What? No. This is bridal suite. You are the only one here, therefore, you are the bride.
It's an interesting argument, but I'm afraid you are a moron.
What?
Me, no bride, but perhaps I could take a message.
Yes. Very, very good. Dear Pandagrace, I must make love to you. Transport you to a place of ecstasy. Jonah is better than later. Signed, Adolfo, King of Romance.
Oh no, you have found me out. You've seen through my little ruse.
So you are the bride.
Apparently, yes. Now, take me, Adolphe.
Adolfo. You must remember my name. For when we are making love, and you are screaming, you must say the right name. Or you will spoil everything. Now, how can I make you remember my name? I'm sure that you have heard the name of Adolfo. A Ladisman who wins a claim Adolfo. Well, lovely miss, I am the same Adolfo. I introduce myself. I am Adolfo.
It's nice to meet you. Shall we?
Not so fast. And just in case you didn't hear Adolfo, I'll try to make it very clear, Adolfo. The only line is always clear, Adolfo. When I repeat myself, I am Adolfo.
Understood.
I can sing it high. I can sing it low. It's okay. You can look at my boot. I can sing it very fast. I can sing it very slowly. I don't know, but it will take hours. Now, let us see if you can remember my name.
I'll do my best.
Now, who's the fellow that you see?
Adolfo.
And how should you refer to me?
Adolfo.
And who is it that'll always be?
Adolfo.
No, sing it proudly.
You are Adolfo.
No, that is very enough for Joe. For Joe, lovely ladies out there who did not hear for some reason. Maybe you are hard of hearing. I don't know. It goes.
That was my mother's favorite part of the show. I guess it was her secret fantasy to be whisked away by a Latin lover. Well, a real Latin lover, not a buffoon. But that's what musicals are all about, right? Romantic fantasy, falling in love at the drop of a hat, suddenly tangoing, suddenly finding yourself in an insanely romantic setting.
I'm an accident waiting to happen. Da 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 da. I am sorry, madam. I am getting married today, so I have to wear a blindfold.
A blindfold?
Oh, well that's... I'm sorry, who is it that I'm speaking to?
Why, it's me. I mean, me from France.
Oh, this scene couldn't be more ridiculous.
So, you are marrying Jeannette Van de Graaf, no?
Oh, well, that's right. Oh, hi.
I hear she is very beautiful.
Oh, oui.
And glamorous.
Oh, oui.
Is it true that she has an exceptionally broad range and excels at playing both comedic and dramatic roles?
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time placing your accent. What part of France did you say that you're from?
The middle part, where they make the toast.
That makes perfect sense. No more questions from me.
So, you were telling me about your, how do you say in English, fiancé?
Well, that's right.
Well, tell me, when was the moment when you knew she was the only one for you?
Well, that's a funny story, actually. Well, we were standing on the Lido deck of the Isle de France.
Yes.
I was amusing her with humorous stories of my father's oil interests.
Then what happened?
Well, then I stared into her eyes. Her big, glamorous eyes. And I started to get all woozy.
And then you fell. And then you fell?
Well, that's right. Right on my keister. Oh, and then I said to her, I guess I just haven't found my sea legs yet.
We haven't left the dock.
Well, that's right. That is what she said. Well, and that's when I knew it must be love.
And then you said?
Oh, well, then I said, there was a time I could stop on a dime. Forbearance was one of my talents. But since you've been around, I can't hold my ground. I'm consistently losing my balance. I'm an accident waiting to happen. I'm a mess up about doing too. I'm a toy on the stairs, a three-legged chair, a hem that's been caught by a shoe. When my two lovesick arms started flapping, there was nothing my ankles could do. I'm an accident waiting to happen, so how be I happen to you?
And then what happened?
Well, then she joined in.
When men say I'm sweet and they fall at my feet, my heart doesn't beat any faster. But when you lose control, it touches my soul. So I'm bracing myself for disaster. You're an accident waiting to happen.
That's right.
A catastrophe destined to be.
That's me. I'm the rags in the cellar.
A broken umbrella, a branch hanging loose from a tree. I can see myself jumping and clapping for a man who lives dangerously. You're an accident waiting to happen, so hurry and happen to me. And then what happened?
fake French accent and the blindfold have caused quite a misunderstanding. What a mess! But will it work out in the end? Yes, of course it will. It's not real. This is a musical. Everything works out in a musical. In the real world, nothing works out, and the only people that burst into song are the hopelessly deranged.
Mr. Beltic!
Where is that philandering for?
Mr. Beltic!
How long does it take to seduce one boy?
Mr. Beltic! You don't have to worry about Janet no more.
Not now, Kitty.
I've been working on a mind-reading act. Presenting Kitty the Incomprehensible. Now, think something.
Oh, I'm thinking of something.
Wait, I'm getting it. Pick up a loaf of rye bread and some whole milk. And don't forget to shave your legs.
You're reading your own mind, you idiot.
Oh, no wonder it was so easy.
Mr. Feldzig, it would seem that the wedding is proceeding according to schedule.
And now it's time you received your just desserts. What do you think, partner? Should we whip up something special for Mr. Feldzig?
Yeah, how's about a Toledo surprise?
An inspired choice.
A Toledo surprise? I never heard of that.
No, you haven't. Those who have heard of it are generally never heard from again.
We'll share the recipe with you.
First, you chop the nuts.
Then you pound the dough.
And then you break it up nice and slow.
And then you got your Toledo surprise.
Could you run that by me again?
It's a very simple recipe, Mr. Feldzig.
First, you chop the nuts.
Then you pound the dough.
And then you break it up nice and slow.
And then you got your Toledo surprise.
Say, why don't we give him a little taste?
All right.
Hold it! What style? That's great! What rhythm? Open your face. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now, shake 'em. Now, give me that recipe one more time. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
Go! Chop the nuts, pound the dough, bake it up, nice and slow. Then you got a Toledo surprise.
Now sell it!
Pick the peach, peel the skin, wash it up, throw it in. That's a tasty Toledo surprise. Now first you beat it up, then you sweet it up, then you heat it up. If it tries to rise, don't let it, it's a snack. Try it, folks, with your whites, split your yolks, then you got a Splendido surprise.
You boys are naturals!
Honest?
Keep it up. I'll go work on the contracts.
Hey!
A 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, what's going on here?
Kitty, I'm developing a new act.
Toledo surprise!
You're putting gangsters in the show and you won't put me in? They're not even in the union.
You don't understand. The new act, it's for you, Kitty. And these boys, they're your backup dancers.
Backup dancers? Holy cat! What that hot Toledo does to my libido. Good, yes indeed, oh, sugary yum yum. Surprise! Grease the pan, lick the spoon, lick the pan, make the best
it up. When you heat it up, if it tries to rise, don't let it. Delete a surprise.
Surprise!
Wait until it's ready.
Surprise!
Wait till it's ready.
Surprise!
Wait till it's ready.
Now it's looking ready.
Surprise!
You got it.
Makes me twitch, makes me shake. This dessert takes the cake. Hits me like a torpedo. Delito surprise!
You don't surprise.
Surprise!
Wait a minute. Why are we dancing? Our dreams are in tatters.
Yeah, but the tune is so infectious, Janet. Come on.
Oh, Robert. This is the saddest day of my life. Oh.
Wedding bells won't ring, wedding bells won't chime. They will never celebrate the happy wedding
Well, that's it. It's time for intermission. Well, it would be intermission if we were actually sitting at the Morosco Theater watching The Drowsy Chaperone. Which, of course, we're not. I don't like intermissions. They ruin the magic, you know. One minute you're lost in this beautiful world of romance and music, and then BAM! Suddenly you're surrounded by tourists. Crinkling candy wrappers. Nattering about the lack of women's restrooms. We know. It's cruel. Oh, this is a power bar. I have a blood sugar thing. I have to eat small meals all day long or I get jittery. I know, it's rude, but you wouldn't like the alternative, believe you me. Believe you me! I remember my wedding day. The ceremony, I didn't eat breakfast that morning, and the ceremony wasn't until 4 p.m. I didn't. What? Oh, are you surprised I was married? Well, there you go. You shouldn't go making assumptions about people, should you? I'm a very complex person. I have to pee now. But don't worry, I'll be quick.
Oh, was it unclear? That's intermission. Go, go. I bling a message from a nightingale. I bling a message from a nightingale. All right, that's enough. Oh.
You know about an American lady. Rosie, eye to eye.
Emperor, sometimes a different outlook can change your point of view.
What?
Precisely. What is it about the Asians that fascinates Caucasians? What is it about the Asians that's so nice? Is it the wontons, the egg rolls, the rice? Perhaps it's Buddha or Confucius and their excellent advice. Here we go. Hold on. Many successes will accompany you this year.
What? Is it about Caucasian that mystifies the Asia? What is it about Caucasian that swallows? They're called a pretty lady, a bro. They are held upon a chest, and they only have one God. Impossible! Chicago! They surrender!
It was a joke.
That was from a different musical entirely. I have a woman who comes in once a month. Can I say that? I have a woman? Anyway, I have a woman who comes in once a month to clean the things I absolutely refuse to clean. She is very good at her job, but she has this very annoying habit of putting my records away, and in the wrong sleeves. Even when I say to her, "No touch records, Carmela. No toucho recordo." I suppose if I spoke to her in complete sentences, she might actually stop touching my records. No, that song that started Act 2 was from a different Gable and Stein show called The Enchanted Nightingale. Oh, it is a degrading piece of Chino series about an emperor who is told by this magic bird to marry his American elocutionist instead of his betrothed. And then he builds the Great Wall of China. It's a slap in the face to 4,000 years of Chinese history. But it does have some wonderful tunes. Did you recognize Beatrice Stockwell as the American lady? Yes. Oh, and also Roman Bartelli as the emperor? Yes. He is a man of 1,000 accents. All of them insulting. Act 2 of The Drowsy Chaperone begins with this, a haunting lament from a depressed bride. Now she sings this as she bathes in a pale blue sympathetic moon on her balcony, which is absolutely ridiculous because it's the middle of the day. Now when you're listening to this, just try to ignore the lyrics. I know to be tough, but block them out. They're not very good. But the tune is beautiful, and it truly communicates the bride's state of mind. Just ignore the lyrics.
I put a monkey on a pedestal and tried to make that monkey stay. And he did for a time, but he needed to climb and with other monkeys play far away. He left his jacket on that pedestal beside his tiny rusty cup. And I haven't got the strength to pick them up. Oh, monkey, 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 you broke my heart in two. But I'll always save that pedestal for you.
I'm gonna pour myself a vodka.
My little monkey, come, my little monkey, do.
All right, I'll admit, I do get a little bit misty when I think about that tiny little jacket. Its long sleeves dangling on the floor.
Oh, monkey, 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 you broke my heart in two. But I'll always save that pedestal.
Pedestal.
For you. Come, my little monkey. Come, my little monkey.
All right, here we go.
Wait,
Who are you?
I'm Janet Vandegraff.
Do you need anyone?
I don't need anyone.
What about the love of one man?
What do I care about the love of one man when I am adored by millions? Do I need to be so gloomy?
No, no, no!
I could rule the world if so I chose. Sigmund Freud's flowers to me every show. Gertrude Stein, she handed me a
I wanna, I don't, I do, I don't, I do. I don't wanna shout. Stage and it's stage and it's stage and it's stage and it's future is secure and millions will do just fine. But any future I could ever care to shape includes just 1 2-time in CAD who drives me. Is it the monkey or my pedestal?
Love that number. It has everything. A little Bugsy Berkeley, a little Jane Goodall. That's another thing I love about musicals in general. When a character is in crisis, they sing and they dance, which is so much more interesting than just whining about it. But, I guess that's the glory of musical theater, I suppose. You're gonna... Oh! This right here, this is real life. You manage to have 5 seconds of happiness and then something starts ringing. Oh! Oh!
What a beautiful day for a wedding.
Shall I have the pews removed now, or would you prefer I wait until the morning?
I'm gonna stop right here because I don't want this number ruined by a ringing telephone. Here we have 2 vaudevillian performers slipped through the cracks of time. Noel Fitzpatrick and Ukulele Lil. I don't know anything about them. I suppose that Ukulele Lil played the ukulele, although she doesn't play in this show. I actually tried to find out more information about her. I went through all of my playbills. Oh, I even used the internet. But for some reason, all my searches ended with autopsy photographs of Tiny Tim. Anyway, they're both so charming.
Why would you have the pews removed?
The bride has called off the wedding, madam.
Underling, you never listen to a bride on her wedding day. Love is a very complex emotion, Underling.
Yes, madam.
You can be very close to someone 1 minute, and then the next minute, well, you just want to strangle them. Do you understand, Underling?
Yes, I'm very familiar with the urge to strangle, madam.
Oh, it is the nature of love. Love makes lovers worry, love makes lovers fret. But here's a fact on which we can depend. Just like long ago when Romeo loved Juliet, love is always lovely in the end.
But Romeo and Juliet was a tragedy, madam.
Oh, I never read reviews. Love can start to quarrel, love can cause a din, but love will always be a trusty friend. 'Twas the happy fate for Hank the Eight and Anne Boleyn. Love is always lovely in the end.
Need I remind you that Anne Boleyn lost her head?
Well, yes, she was in love!
promise nothing I say to you ever get through.
Don't mind if I do!
Love is always lovely in the end. I'm exhausted just watching you dance around. I think I'll grab myself a glass of ice water.
Love sneaks up behind you. Love drops from above. But love would never consciously offend. Love has certainly been kind to me and my true love. Love is always lovely in the end.
But your late husband was a brute.
I don't mean him, you silly coot! Love is always lovely.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Love is always lovely in the end.
Love is always lovely in the end.
Yes, that was charming. But to be frank, on some level, that number really pisses me off. I'm gonna say something here, and yes, I've been drinking. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that love is not always lovely in the end. No. Often, in the end, there are lawyers. And another thing, oh no, wait, and another thing. Didn't anyone ever think of the awkward sexual connotation of that title? Love is always lovely in the end. I mean, is it just me? Oh, I see you. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think that number is naive, and irresponsibly so. Sorry. I just thought that needed to be said for the benefit of the young people. All right, fine. I won't interrupt anymore. But, oh wait, there is this one moment that I become obsessed with, but I promise that.
Oh, there you are, chaperone. Oh, I'm in a terrible state.
You most certainly are. You can't go to a wedding looking like that.
Oh, you poor dear. Haven't you heard? The wedding's been called off.
Oh, not your wedding. Mine. Oh, that reminds me. Might I borrow your veil?
You're getting married?
But to whom?
You're marrying Adolfo?
I know, it's surprising, but when I look into his eyes, his big, clumsy eyes, I get so drowsy. And that's love, isn't it?
Yes, dear. That is love. Help me.
There you are. All right, I'm gonna lay all my cards out on the table. I got a weak heart, can't take the pressure. If this keeps going on, the old ticker could go out. Please tell me, is there gonna be a wedding or not?
Yes.
Thank the good Lord in heaven.
Adolfo and the chaperone are getting married.
What?
Oh, there you are! I have wonderful news. There's going to be a wedding.
We know.
You know?
We just heard.
Who told you?
Well, I did.
How did you know?
What difference does it make?
Mrs. Tottendale and I will be married in the garden at 7:30.
What?
What? Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Well, congratulations to everyone.
Say, what kind of cockamamie wedding is this? Everybody's getting married but the bride and the groom.
Oh, there you are, Janet. I've been looking all over for you.
Hello, Mr. Martin.
Oh, please don't be that way. Can't you find it in your heart to marry me? It is our wedding day, and George has gone to all of this trouble. And I do love you. I do. More than I can say.
But you kissed another woman.
Yeah, but I just don't understand it. I know it may sound ridiculous, but when I was kissing that French girl, Janet, it was just like kissing you.
Oh, Robert, you were kissing me.
Oh, what? You mean that you're Mimi?
Well, that French accent was remarkably accurate.
Thank you. I developed it when I played the role of Monique, and hold that baguette.
There you are! Before you do anything, I want you to think about this. No matter how well you play the part of happy wife, you will never ever receive a standing ovation.
Oh, I just don't know. Oh, I'm so confused. Chaperone! Oh, please. Just this one time, I beg of you. Please give me some advice that is coherent and appropriate to the situation. Should I marry Robert?
Okay, here it comes. This is the moment that I was talking about. Not only the culmination of the plot, but a moment that I've become obsessed with, and it's brought me back to this record again and again. Here it comes.
Well, my advice to you is...
And this is it. Listen.
Live while you can.
You see? You can't quite make out what she says because some idiot drops a cane. I'll play it for you again.
While you can.
Is she saying live while you can or leave while you can?
While you can.
I mean, it's Beatrice Stockwell, so it might just be a cynical quip. But it is a wedding after all, and that's exactly what you think when you're standing at the altar, isn't it? Live or leave. And you choose to live, right? I mean, you do love her in some way. It's not an exact science. An arrow doesn't come flying out of the sky pointing to the person you're supposed to be with. So one day you just say it to someone. You say, I love you? I mean, you basically phrase it as a question, but they accept it as a fact. So then suddenly, she's standing in front of you in a $3,000 dress with tears in her eyes, and her nephew made the chuppah, so what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to say I was kidding? Sorry, I was just joking. No, you can't. You choose to live, right? You live. So for a couple of months, you're staring at this alien form lying next to you in the bed, and you think to yourself, who are you? Who are you? So one day you just say it out loud. And then it's the trial separation and the couples counseling. And every conversation you have is about her eating disorder and your Zoloft addiction. And you're constantly reevaluating, redefining, and revisiting until finally you lose the deposit on the house and your whole relationship ends on a particularly ugly note with your only copy of Gypsy spinning through the air and smashing against the living room wall. But still, in a broader sense, in a larger sense, better to have lived than left. Right?
While you can.
I can't tell you how many times I've listened to that.
Oh, chaperone, you certainly have a way with words. Robert, come here. Oh, my answer is yes. I will marry you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Mr. Feldzig, it looks like this wedding is a done deal.
Now, you're in trouble.
There's nothing you can do about it.
But there is! I've got a replacement. A new leading lady. Presenting Kitty the Incredible! I want you to concentrate, and I want you to show these boys how you can read my mind. My mind.
Kitty, will you
married in one big clump. That's how they do it out in Utah.
Well, George, I don't know how you managed it. I mean, 4 weddings in one day. George, I think you're everyone's best man now.
I am?
Yes!
I am!
Hip, hip, hooray! Yes, George, that's George, the best man, George.
I'm honored to be doing what a best man ought.
He's basking in the glory of a fight well fought. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime, wedding bells will celebrate a happy wedding time. Wedding bells will celebrate a happy wedding.
Minister, you may be... Oh no! I forgot the minister! Who the hell are you?
I'm Trix, the aviatrix, queen of the sky. To Rio I was wending when my engine needed mending. But I'll fix my navigatrix, and then I'll fly and let you lovebirds tie the knot. So sorry to crash the party, folks, but I'll have this plane fixed in 2 shakes, and then it's off to Rio for a carnival!
Well, wait a second. The captain of a ship can perform a wedding.
Yes! And the pilot is comparable to a captain.
Yes! It's an aeroplane is a kind of jeep.
What?
Yes, a jeep of the air.
What?
Then Tom call it an air jeep.
Oh, shit! Yes!
Hey, Trix, I got it. You can marry them on the plane, and then we'll all have the honeymoon out in Rio.
A bride and groom in a chapel may bring a tear to the eye, but what a thrill when lovebirds trill! I do in the sky when bells are set in the beautiful daffodil sky. But hush when sweethearts I do in the sky. Do you? We do. Do you? We do. Do you? We do. Do you?
All bride and groom in a chapel may bring a tear to the eye.
With rainbows bending before us and clouds meandering by, one can't restrain that sweet refrain. I do in the sky. When clouds are set in a daffodil sky. But heartbeats rush when sweethearts gush. I do in the sky. I do in the sky.
Look, on ahead. Do you see it?
Could it be? Yes, it's Rio! Oh, hurry up, Trix. We've got some honeymooning to do.
Then fly, then fly. It's such a thrill when lovers when clouds meandering by.
One can't restrain that sweet refrain. I do.
No, this can't be happening! Sorry, everyone. It's a terrible old apartment with horrible wiring. Ugh! All right, just everybody stay relaxed, okay? I'm gonna try and find a flashlight. Oh, look, I found one. Okay, everybody just stay calm. Keep the show alive in your minds. Don't talk to anyone. I'll try the fuse box. Shh, everybody be quiet.
It's the super. Hi.
Your lights are out.
Yeah, we had to shut off the power because we're replacing a breaker panel in the basement.
Yes.
So we replaced it. But when we shut all the power off, all the breakers in all the apartments tripped.
Yes.
That's what happens. It's normal.
Yes.
So I gotta reset your breakers.
Now?
It'll only be a second.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Well, because, I tried calling you earlier, but, I didn't get an answer.
Yes. I've been having some problems with my telephone.
Okay. Here we go. What was that?
Nothing.
What kind of music was that?
Just music. It was a show. It was a musical.
You like musicals?
No.
Oh, God, I love musicals. Oh, man, I go with the wife all the time. It's amazing what they can do nowadays. Did you see Miss Saigon? They landed a helicopter on stage with that one. I've seen them all. Oh, man. Oh! I've seen cats! Oh, I've seen like cats! I've seen cats!
You know, lovely to meet you. Have a good evening. Well, that's it. The moment is ruined. We were just one note away from the end of the show. The mood is broken. I should just start the record over again. I can't do that. Can I? So frustrated. You have to understand something. I love this musical so much. And I've never even seen it. My mother gave me that record. It was right before my father left us. He didn't leave because of the record, although I'm sure it didn't help matters. Look, I know it's not a perfect show. The spit take scene is lame. The monkey motif is labored. But none of that matters. It does what a musical is supposed to do. It takes you away. It gives you a little tune to carry with you in your head, you know? Something to help you with the dreary horrors of the outside world. Something for when you're feeling blue. You know?
life's funny journey. As we stumble along into the blue. We look here, and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where to turn or what
Time and accident waiting to happen.
stumble our way
I don't wanna sing
through life's crazy
Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime. Toledo surprise.
left
And where will be?
or right.
surprise. And the best that we can do is hold a bluebird. We'll sing his song as we stumble along. Through life's crazy labyrinth, barely knowing left from right or right from wrong. And the best that we can do is hold on to. We'll sing his song as we stumble along, as we stumble, fumble, fumble, crumble, as we stumble